Welcome into the Sports Edge Podcast. I'm your host, Commissioner Dan Stanzik. Joining me from Denver, Colorado, two-time SEFFL champion Justin the Guru Eisner. Guru, did you enjoy your week off?
I did. Very much so.
What'd you do?
Very stress-free. Just didn't get involved in fantasy at all. So it was beautiful.
I love it. It's,
I love it.
There is some relief at the end of a season where you watch playoff games and you're not yelling for them to throw the ball to a specific player. You're just enjoying the game for what it is.
Yeah.
To see who wins the game, not to see which receiver gets more catches.
Yeah. The first round of playoffs is particularly nice to watch. I like the first round. It's never stressful for me. Like you said, fantasy's over. The Jets are certainly not in the playoffs.
Right.
It's beautiful. It's just actually watching football. And
so that part's fun, but it's also football is dwindling and there's not much football left. I almost talked myself into staying up for the second half of Steelers Dolphins on Monday night just to savor it. And I was like, I'm not doing this. That's just ridiculous. So let's not do that. Let's also not belabor what happened this weekend. Let's recap the quarterfinals. We'll start with the McConkeys off my back, who put forth a season-best 164-point effort, blew the doors off the Stanziks, who could only muster 111 points. With the win, the champs, we haven't referred to them as the champs in a while, the champs move on to the semis for a fifth straight season. I didn't look it up, but I'm sure that's a record. 5 seasons in a row in the semis. Good for half. But we will take a look at the other side of this matchup here as we will preview the semis coming up. But Guru, how should the Commish feel heading into the offseason? Broad question for you. I can answer it, straight from the horse's mouth, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, what's interesting is I feel like the narrative should be, it's great. It's going to be okay. You had really crap luck. We talked about it with all the points. By the way, it continues 164 points. Not that it overly mattered. You didn't put up a huge week, but you put up a decent week. But I also feel like we kind of had the same narrative last year. It's how many years of this is this going to go on, Dan? Is it truly just that you can't play defense and you're getting bad breaks, or is there something seriously wrong with the squad? I feel like it's starting to become a theme.
I might have to bring the car into the Guru's garage and look underneath the hood here. I think we might have to do a deep dive. I think we tried that in week 1 or 2 here. And
I don't know if it worked or not, but
we made the playoffs.
Trevor Lawrence on the bench, 54 points. Oh my gosh.
Our guy, Trevor Lawrence.
Wow.
Yeah. The way I see it heading into the offseason, I feel great about Drake May at quarterback. I feel great about Tyler Warren at tight end. He hasn't been great the last couple of weeks, but going forward, I think he's the top 5 fantasy tight end, as the years go on. Running back wise, McCaffrey still has some gas left in the tank. He's a father now. Dad strength. I think he'll be good next season. Henderson really come on lately. So has Chase Brown. Feel pretty good there. Trey Benson, not great. Injured, out for the year. Might not be a keeper next year. Wide receivers look way different than they did a year ago at this time. Neighbors is going to be coming off a major injury, and he feels like the best of the bunch for me. A.J. Brown has actually bounced back. I think he's wide receiver 11 on the season, so good for A.J. Brown. But, major questions there. The Eagles might trade him. Who knows? DK Metcalf did not turn into Devontae Adams like I thought he would with Aaron Rodgers. And, the elephant in the room here, Justin Jefferson went from being a top 3 fantasy asset to almost unplayable lately. And that would very much diminish this roster's upside going forward into next season. So, there's some to like, there's some to question. There's a lot of time before next season. So disappointing that the Zics couldn't even make it to the semis, but congrats to Half. Like I said, we'll preview his matchup coming up. The other quarterfinal, Sale Chiacho Memorial All-Stars, they blasted the thrill of the chase, 144-89. You and I were talking in the much talked about pre-show meeting. If I had to sacrifice myself to also get Steve out of the playoffs, we'll take that 1-for-1 trade. It's like a pawn for pawn or a queen for queen if you're playing chess here. Referring to Steve and I as queens, probably not the greatest decision I've made on this podcast here, but we'll stick with pawn for pawn sacrifice. I'm out, Steve's out. Good job by Cass. 144-89. An absolute rout. Steve's 3 running backs, Breece Hall, Quinshon Judkins, Kenneth Walker, combined to score just 11 points. Kess got twice that amount from Josh Jacobs alone. And Guru, you will probably remember this because we talked about the Charmin soft schedule Half had in the playoffs last year, including against your own team. This is 2 straight duds in playoff games for Steve. Last year, he only scored 101 points in the title game, lost to Half. So not great for Steve. Gets to the playoffs and kind of crumbles. Managerial malpractice, as we always say when it refers to Steve. But as you take a look at his team, despite a breakout year from JSN, who is wide receiver number 1, top 5 season from Jamar Chase once again, Steve largely unperformed, I think, because of his running back situation. He was real happy with Breece Hall, running back 18. Quinshon Judkins as a rookie, running back 22, solid. Kenneth Walker never had 20 carries in a game, never had 4 catches in a game, only had more than 100 yards rushing in a game once, is running back 25 right now. So how do you feel, Guru, about my diagnosis about Steve's roster, and how do you think he should attempt to remedy it in the offseason?
Yeah. I think you're right about the running backs. I mean, what's going to happen with Brees? I mean, I think Junkins, I like Junkins. He was a guy that I was looking at in the draft too.
He should probably stay. I mean, at the time Steve took him, he still had not signed. He was still being investigated for domestic abuse, et cetera, et cetera. Steve took a chance on him. We mocked him for it. It worked out. Yeah. I'm not trading Judkins if I'm him, unless it brings back a surefire running back. He's probably the one of the 3 I keep. But
yeah, for sure, right? I mean, and then I don't know, the Seattle running back situation always bothers me. I never know what to do there. So that one scares me. I agree there. I don't know what is Breece Hall. Maybe he goes somewhere else. Maybe that could be someone that I think maybe where Breece Hall ends up could be a big X factor for Steve's team. But looking at this whole thing, it's like it kind of rides on Jaden Daniels. Like he kind of seems to keep getting hurt. You know, Dak did nothing this week. To me, it's like Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison, and then maybe where does Breece Hall end up? Like Marvin Harrison is like continuing to just not really turn the corner. I mean, some of it was injuries, but what are we doing with Marvin? Like that's a big one for him.
I like your thought when it comes to Breece Hall. Maybe there's a positive change of scenery for him. Yeah. Maybe he goes somewhere else and Steve doesn't have to consider moving him, and it's an upgrade based on where his new NFL team is, if the Jets do, in fact, trade him. The way I was looking at it, not a great running back class, as we've discussed.
Yeah.
A lot can change from now and then, but some of the guys you mentioned, Marvin Harrison, Jaden Daniels, I'm thinking maybe Steve packages them in a deal with one of those running backs and tries to upgrade at the running back position. You know, Jaden Daniels is probably going to be an injury risk going forward. Maybe Steve rolls the dice with Dak. Who knows? Maybe someone wants like a flyer on Marvin Harrison. Maybe he could throw Terry McLaurin in a deal with Kenneth Walker and try to get a better running back for that. But, you know, it's not going to be easy to upgrade that running back room, which I think is a weakness for Steve. Tight end not looking great either, but
yeah. We'll get to more of this later. But I think maybe my advice to Steve is play more golf. That seems like maybe where this is going. A little teaser there, but that might be what he needs to do to really fix his roster.
Well, you took us there. Let's go there. The Steve Hoban golf wager remains unresolved. So I did what any good commissioner would do. I took it upon myself to get the opinion of some experts. So here is the case, as discussed on the latest episode of the Ringer Fantasy Football Show with Danny Heifetz, Danny Kelly, and Craig Horlbeck.
Fantasy Court's in session.
Definitely don't tell anyone about this thing that you're doing.
I don't really want to be handcuffed.
The definition of an object is a material thing that can be seen and touched.
It's playoff fantasy court. I hope we get some doozies.
It is playoff fantasy court. So this one's special. This is Dynasty Court, which is like, you know, some people get really, you know, it's a little weird.
Interesting.
So this is from Dan.
D-Bone.
Dan says, I'm the commissioner of an 18-year-old Dynasty League with my college buddies. Last weekend, a guy from Philly named Pat went out to Los Angeles for the Eagles game. Saturday, he meets up with another guy in the league, Steve, who's, you know, he lives in Los Angeles. So the two of them play golf before they go to this Eagles-Rams game. And apparently they wagered their first round picks in next year's rookie draft on the golf match. Steve won. And so Pat went double or nothing on the 18th hole at golf. It's like a press, but I'm not getting into golf gambling jargon. But so they go double or nothing for his second round pick in 2027, and he loses that too. So Pat owes his first round pick in 2026 and his second in 2027, basically the Quinn and Williams trade, to this guy just because he lost in golf. DK, Dan wants to know, do I allow this transfer of picks?
Of course. Why are you asking DK? What about me?
Because DK hates golf and loves Dynasty.
Man, that's a good question.
This is business. Every deal gets made on a golf course in all aspects of corporate life.
They're betting each other.
You know what's funny? We spend so much time worrying about collusion where we're like, well, they did this because he owes them money or something. And like, but it's funny. We actually don't get a ton of, well, they just bet on it and he lost. Like, that's kind of funny.
I mean, this reminds me a little bit about how my buddy traded a pick for a car in real life. Or not a pick.
That's worse.
He traded like some running back, okay, like Michael Turner for a car.
Yep.
And I don't know what to make of that, because this
kind
is
of
like,
car was it?
I think on one hand, I'm with Craig, where it's like, this is like you're the idiot who decided to bet your first round pick. Like, we should just let this go through. But it's also, these are the types of things that can like tilt the league, the competitiveness of a league, a dynasty league in particular. So I don't know. I kind of land in the middle. I think ultimately I side with Craig here and think they should let it go, but I don't know. It's a fine line.
I think the at the base level, you delete the first round pick and give the guy the second.
Why?
Oh,
Because the guy was dumb enough to bet it. He shouldn't get it back. He shouldn't be bailed out.
Oh, like at the very least.
Yeah, at the very least, you just delete the pick. You shouldn't be like, he's stupid enough to bet it. Like, you got to cut a head off and be like, hey, if you just fucking bet your picks, like.
I think it's fine. If these two guys made a bet.
Two consenting adults.
Yeah, about giving up your first round pick, whoever loses, and one guy lost. What's the problem there?
Man, how drunk were they on the golf course? The double or nothing on the 18th hole?
This is funny. I feel like until I read this, I would have been like, you can't bet your picks. Come on. Then I'm reading it. I'm like, you know, the guy was dumb enough to bet his pick.
Of course you can. I mean, look, it's not like it's something under the table. I'll give you something outside the realm of this league,
right? Like
a car. If it's pick for pick, I'm like,
but Craig, if you showed up to your like your regular redraft, not dynasty, you show up to a regular redraft league in your league, and you show up at your friend's draft, your oldest league, and you're like, oh yeah, by the way, your friend, it's like they lost in golf yesterday, so he actually has 2 picks in the first round this year. Would you? I feel like you'd freak out.
I know that's like what I'm worried about.
There would be a lot of questioning, I think, but you're right. I wouldn't love that in the moment, but
you would not allow it. You'd be like, this is horseshit. You can't do that.
See, this is what I'm talking about. It does shift the competitive balance in the league. No, this other guy doesn't get anything back. He just gets a first round pick and a second round pick.
I think because you shouldn't be allowed to do this. I think the punishment should be that guy just loses the fucking first rounder because he had the balls to gamble his pick. But the other guy can get the second as a remedy, and then you ban it going forward.
So the guy doesn't lose the first and the second. He just loses the first.
I think the league needs to decide if this is allowed or not, and whatever they decide in this thing is the policy going forward. If there's no gambling of picks, if they were like, you know what, you can gamble picks now, fuck it, let it stand. If you can't do it going forward, then you could just send him back, but part of me is like, there should be a punishment to this guy for putting his pick on the line.
I don't have an issue with this.
It is interesting. I've had friends in my league. You guys know Jackson. He loves trading. And so I think I've seen him basically send trade offers to teams he thinks he's going to finish ahead of. So basically he'll trade with a guy who's like, he's basically saying, you're going to have a worse record than me. I want your first.
Mm-hmm. That's not this though.
I know. And I'm saying that's a little different, but like, that's the kind of stuff I think is totally kosher. I don't know.
This is funny. This is like in poker when people start tilting, like put your watch on the table when you run out of money. It's like you put the deed to your house down, start giving away dynasty first rounders.
Also, I want to shout out Jackson, you mentioned, because he runs the dynasty league that we're all in with your friends from home, DK. And Jackson, because of my tilting about, I don't know what socks to wear, he sent me socks for Christmas.
Oh yeah.
And a color coded chart on when to wear what socks. So
what a guy.
What are we deciding? I feel like you shouldn't be able to do this, but this is funny that it happened. But if it was my league,
what's the ultimate decision here? Craig is for it. Heifetz is against it. Fuck that.
I think the league gets to vote, but whatever they decide, it has to be the policy going forward. I think that if you allow this, then you could do it. Like, I don't know. Can we abstain and just kick it back to them? Be like, I don't know.
Kick it back to a lower court?
Seemed funny to us.
It sounds like a fun bet to me.
Can I be honest about not the right decision, but how I feel is it depends on if the guy that won is like, I liked him more.
Right.
I feel like that's how it will end up being ruled.
Is he a good hang? Who is he?
Who is he, like less annoying?
How do they shoot? Are they good golfers or bad golfers?
That's the other thing is like, if you're going to be like, you bet on that. Like if the guy loses sucks.
Yeah.
So we don't know. Okay.
So I'm going to allow it.
You shouldn't. Live a little.
Shouldn't be able to do
If you're dumb enough to bet picks, then you have to live with the outcome.
That's kind of where I'm at, which is why I think the solution isn't to undo it. It's either you allow it or you delete the picks and be like, "There's your punishment. How dare you?"
But this is a good reminder to all the commissioners out there, is like, make a rule about this.
Make a rule.
Make a rule about this offseason.
Guru, what was your reaction to the video?
It's interesting. I kind of thought their reaction was similar to mine. Like the initial reaction was like, just let it happen, which was sort of my initial reaction. Then I started to backpedal a little bit. They kind of backpedaled a little bit too. All of a sudden there was, well, if this or if that. There started to be some little caveats thrown out there and some little things like that. So,
should we kick it back to them and let them decide? They didn't really know what to do.
Vote.
Yeah.
How good of golfers are they? A lot of these were questions I asked you when I first sort of started talking through this last time. So that's probably why we're a professional podcast like they are. Like just a lot of the same takes. A lot of the same takes.
It is an intriguing situation.
Yeah.
So they didn't really know how to handle it. I think they ultimately 2 of the 3 were like, they're both grown men. They decided to do it, but make a rule going forward like you shouldn't be gambling picks. I agree with that. We're not going to allow gambling picks going forward. I do feel like I am slightly culpable here because I mentioned this last week too, but they did text before the match and said, "Can you trade picks?" And I said the trade deadline has passed.
Right.
But if you guys wanted to trade picks, going forward when the new league year starts, that can be discussed. So I do feel like I could have nipped it in the bud there, guessing as to what they were going to do.
Yeah.
But
I got a couple thoughts. So
please.
One of the things they said was whatever you decide on this should be the decision going forward. Meaning like if we let them do this, then we should allow this. I don't think that that's true. I think regardless of what we decide here, we kibosh this now.
Yeah.
And I would broaden what you said. You said you can't gamble picks. I think the rule should be you can only trade fantasy assets for fantasy assets, right? That should be what it is.
Yeah.
Like you can't gamble them. You can't be like they talked. I don't know. They mentioned some story where somebody gave a call away. Yeah. Or like I'll give you $100 for your first pick. Like I don't think we should be able to do any of that. It's fantasy assets for fantasy assets.
I like that. That's a good stipulation.
Yeah.
The way I see it, I have options for you. The league can vote. The league can weigh in.
Yeah.
Here are those options as I see them. I have 4 options. You could probably talk me into there being more options than this, but here are the 4 options as I see them. Okay. Number 1 option. We just said this. You can't gamble picks. That's the new rule going forward. Never should have thought that you can gamble picks. No picks moved. End of story. Probably the cleanest option. Like we do nothing. We pretend it never happened.
Okay.
Option 2. They were both consenting adults. They knew what they were getting into. Steve gets Hoban's first in 2026. He gets his second in 2027. And I'm not sure anyone wants this option. Even Steve is reticent about this, suggesting that he would give Hoban a keeper level player for his first round pick. Like that is why are we changing the story? Like let's not do that at all. I do understand that logic though. They both knew what they were getting into. Yeah. Maybe you just let it happen. That's option 2. Option 3. I think I mentioned this via email last week. I think Zans agreed that this was a good option. Maybe we just have them swap first-round picks. It is minor. Hoban currently has the 4th pick. Steve currently has the 6th pick. It could become... I think if Kess wins, maybe it gets better. I'm not sure. So they swap picks. Either way, Hoban's going to have a better pick than Steve. So maybe they swap picks. Steve gets the better pick. Hoban gets the worst pick. Okay. You guys made a bet. Steve won golf match. Great. You flop picks, but you both get first-round picks. Okay. That's option 3. Option 4, what they should have done in the first place. Hoban just pays for one of Steve's extra keepers next year, $50. Maybe you should have just bet $50 on your golf match. We settle it that way. Of those 4 options, what do you think is the best remedy to the situation?
I kind of like the pick swap. Another thing they talked about on the pod that I didn't like was one of their options was that Hoban should lose the pick, but nobody should gain anything.
Right. Just like, don't let him. I didn't like that either. Just like delete
really
the pick.
Reward Steve at all, which I feel like you need, not that we want to reward.
I mean, they were both, the guys on the pod were basically like, they're idiots. They shouldn't have done this.
Right.
Which I think we all agree. They're both idiots.
I think the pick swap is a good idea because it helps Steve and hurts Hoban. It doesn't completely mess with the balance of the league. And also it creates an exchange that normally has to happen, right? Where like something is given up to gain something else. So I think exchanging both definitely exchanging the first round. Now, the tricky part about the second round is we don't know who's going to have a better pick.
Right. So I think it's just you do the first round this year
because you get thrown out.
Right.
And we pick swap one. I like that option. I think that's a good option. That came from Zans. That was reasonable, and I think that's fair.
Okay. Well, let us know what you think.
Let's vote,
Email
guys.
me, text thread, whatever you guys want to do. Let me know. But that's where we are. Look at us, Guru. I remember in years past, you used to brag to all your friends about how Eric Carabell was talking about your fantasy baseball league on a podcast once. And now we got Field Yates vetoing trades. We got the Ringer fantasy football guys weighing in on Stephen Hoban playing golf. I mean,
this one felt a little better than as much as I like Field Yates, and I really do like Field Yates. So put in a good word for me. But that one bothered me. I don't remember what happened. I just remember being really upset with Field.
I think Pete's still upset about it too. I don't even remember the specifics, but I know.
I remember tweeting at Field something.
I know Field told me he would veto the trade, so I vetoed the trade. I remember that.
I remember that, and I told.
But these guys, I'll have you know, these guys are very much of the opinion, and I think I've adopted this now as I've gotten older and wiser. And it would kind of lead you to just allow this golf thing to happen. It's just like, if two people agree in the trade, just text them, say, do you agree to this? Do you agree to this? Yes. Okay. And you just let it happen. You let them run their fantasy team how they want to run their fantasy team. Where I drew the line with this was that like Steve's golf prowess is somehow helping him in fantasy football. Like that didn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
But if you want to if you want to ruin your fantasy football league by making your team by making bad trades, like that's on you. That's
and the former of what you said was my point during the Field thing. I was like, two people made a trade.
Yeah.
Like, just make the trade. It wasn't
I think I now reside there.
As long as it's not collusion. This is entirely different, just to be clear.
Entirely
weird and odd. And as long as it's not like I'm going to tank and I'm going to give you assets for nothing, that's where I was on the Field Yates. But yeah, look, we're big time, Dan.
I know, big time. Look at us. We got other pods talking about us.
I know.
You know,
no, it popped up. You sent it to me, and it popped up. Fantasy court, whatever. And I was like, "Are they going to talk about our trade?" Like, I couldn't believe it. I was so excited. Big deal.
We have three more games this season. 2 semifinal matchups and a finals matchup. So we will preview the semifinals now. The first matchup, Guru, you are a part of. We got the Sal Chacho Memorial All-Stars. They are heading west once again. This time they go to Denver. They take on your Man Rockets. And as the guy without a dog in the fight, I will handicap it for you. I don't need you weighing in on your own matchup. Feel free to after, I give you my thoughts. But the X factor I see in this matchup is someone you mentioned earlier, Trevor Lawrence against the Denver defense. Of course, Trevor Lawrence is on my bench, so he won't be playing in this game, but Kess is starting Brian Thomas Jr. and Jacoby Myers. Both have been pretty solid lately. I might entertain playing Michael Carter, who is the lead running back for the Cardinals right now. Now that
we'll cut this part.
Everybody is injured. I don't know who I would play him over, though. I'm glad I don't have to make that decision. He is the third stringer for a reason, but he should get a lot of volume. Volume is king in fantasy. That is for Kess to decide. But the X factor I see is Trevor Lawrence in the Jags offense with those wide receivers against the great Denver defense. If the Denver defense is able to stifle those two wide receivers, I think that bodes well in your favor. You also have Puka Nacua going against a great Seattle defense on Thursday, but Puka is immortal, so who knows what will happen there. But if you have picked who these players on Kess's team could be facing, you couldn't have picked any better yourself, Guru. So I think that is a pretty significant advantage for you. In terms of who I think wins, I am leaning Guru in a tight one. I'm thinking less than 15 points. And I think this thing might come down to a Jonathan Taylor late fourth quarter catch and run on Monday night against the 49ers to put you guys over the top. So that's how I see semifinal number one going. Your thoughts?
For better or worse, I got a lot riding on Monday night. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that's a bad thing.
Michael Pittman's a little shaky, I think.
Pittman, Juwan Jennings, and Jonathan Taylor all on Monday Night Football. I love the fact that Jacksonville's playing Denver. In Denver, by the way. I don't know if it's going to continue, but we're on this like crazy wind watch right now. We're getting like 90-mile-an-hour gusts in part of the state. So that's not going to go well for the throwing the football if that continues. So
should we cut this part too?
I'm happy about that. There's a lot of red on the matchups, to your point, on Kess's side. But to me, the X factor is, again, I said it last week, but is Drake London going to play?
Right.
I don't know who I'm going to slot in if Drake London's out. And that was the same sort of situation I had the previous week, not last week as the bye, but 2 weeks ago. So yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
I like it. All right. The other matchup, we got the McConkeys off my back who have a chance to get the final McConkey off their back as they head up the Northeast Corridor to take on Hunter. I don't even know her. Zans has won 5 straight matchups, including the 2023 title game in this one. How about that for Hath? Like, he has slayed all the demons. He has, conquered everyone. Still can't beat Zans, though, and this is his chance. So, Guru, who do you like in this one and why?
I mean, all the personnel and the matchups seem to lean Hath's way if you look at it from a pure numbers perspective, but this is a gut feeling. Zans doesn't lose to Hathaway here. It just doesn't do it. It just doesn't happen. I got Zans. I have no fantasy football.
No empirical data, nothing.
No data. Zans.
My analysis is your analysis. I agree. There's something about this matchup. Hathaway can't get over the hump. Zans is in his head. I can't in good conscience pick Hath in this matchup. I can't do it. It's one of those, like, call me a doubting Thomas.
Yeah.
I got to see Hath do it against Zans to think that it can happen. And this is the miracle season for Zans. I mean,
right. I mean, how many times am I going to pick against Zans?
How can we pick against him? I don't think we can do it. So
can't do it.
Honestly, though, both really good matchups. Even though I'm eliminated from playoff contention here, I'm still very intrigued to see how these two matchups shake out. Good luck, Guru, to you.
4-point spreads, so 4-point spreads in both, so they're both predicted close. But my 4-point spread is based off London playing. I think that'll drop to probably Kess by 1 or 2 if that matchup if he is out. So yeah,
intriguing, very intriguing. And I should mention that Steve Curtis will be in town this Sunday, and a bunch of us in the league. Guru, you did not get this invite because you live hours west. A bunch of us will be going to Colony Pizza in Fairfield on Sundays. I believe Steve, myself, Zans, Kess, and Robbie Gadati. Is that half the league?
That's unbelievable.
I mean, that's Pete, Hoban, Walsh, if you guys want to make the long drive to Colony, you guys are more than welcome. Hath, I don't think you're flying up from North Carolina. Steve's in town already from Los Angeles. Guru, I mean, I don't know.
Could have been there. I could have been there.
I know. So, should be a lot of fun. Should be had by all on Sunday at Colony. I don't know what time we're meeting, but more details on that.
When you guys are together, can we plan for, like, let's do the draft. Let's do some kind of trip. Let's plan it. Let's do it.
Easier said than done, Guru. But I agree. I think this meeting is like the best we can do.
Yeah,
5 of us together. I mean,
that meeting would have been. We could have had more. I could have got there.
Come on. Make a trip. Book a flight.
Well, it's too late now, but I could have got a couple weeks ago. I could have made some changes.
Well, good luck to all you guys that are still in the semis. Hopefully, our audience doesn't dwindle from 9 or from 8 to 3. Now that there's only 3 teams in the semis that aren't us. Yeah. So hopefully the audience is still there and are at least watching us. But
you need to tease the fact that we were on this very popular podcast.
There you go. So let us know what you guys think, and we'll be back next week to recap the semis, preview the finals, and maybe have a surprise guest or two. Who knows? We'll see.
Working on it.
There you go. Guru, thanks as always. See ya.